Joseph, Josh, you've on this truck for a month. What's the deal? Well, we had to wait until we got the plates, okay? I bought this truck out of state, and trying to determine who owned it, the way that the truck was purchased made it extremely difficult because I couldn't use my normal bank. I had to use some shady credit union. It was terrible, but we got everything all taken care of. Now it is time to modify this thing. So we're gonna go ahead and do a lot of under hood work. I'm not sure how far we're gonna get in this video. I'm not sure how many parts this video is going to be. We are just currently draining the coolant. We have so many parts for this thing to do under the hood. Also, shout out to my buddy Cody. We did a 68 in his truck over the weekend, and he gave me this sweet tripod. We're gonna give it a shot, see if we can get you guys better angles. But big thank you to Cody. He did not have to do that, but this is what we're looking at. Just so many upgrades. As you guys can already tell, we started modifying her. We got about 600 miles on the PDD trans. No leaks, no hiccups, so I'm happy with that. We have finally made a wheel choice. We are just patiently waiting for them. And we also made some other choices too. I went and got this debadged. Now you guys can see where it pulled the paint off here. I got a little surprise for that. Nothing crazy. Should fix it. We did pull the emblems off the tailgate, which unfortunately netted us holes in the tailgate somehow. So I got new letters for that. And we are finally turning into this girl. I'm gonna just give you guys a little view of her. Get you guys set up on a time lapse. We got some stuff to pull off. We're going deep into this thing at this point. Goal is basically almost like we're pulling the head. We're not gonna pull the head, but almost like we're gonna pull the head. We just got boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff here to change out, as you guys can see. We also, unlike most of my engine builds, we decided to powder coat some stuff. Found a local shop in Moval that can turn around stuff in a week. We'll see if they can follow through on that. But whatever I couldn't get from Worley that I wanted powder coated, I went there. And then last but not least, we are gonna deal with a J pipe. Okay. Yeah. So let me get to work. I'm not really sure what side we're gonna deal with yet, because we got this side, and inside. So just kind of thinking, I wanted to get like a bunch of stuff out of the way. We are gonna put our EGR back on for emissions compliance. So we have a CARB approved exhaust manifold, as well as a CARB approved turbo. You know, we want to stay legal. You know what I mean, guys? I respect the Canadian emission system so much. We'll make sure we keep it within regs. So, and we have some stuff still at powder coat. Hopefully should be done by the end of this week, which would be nice to kind of wrap this all up. But we have to pull that fuel bowl out, which is right back there. We have to swap our grid heater to a fleece plate. We have head studs to put in. I want to get rid of some of the lines down here. We also need to cap our CCV stuff as well, because that's changing with a different valve cover, and just kind of clean up the best we can. So over here, again, we have our Canadian approved manifold, turbocharger. We also are going to do something about this J-pipe. So if you guys are unfamiliar with this J-pipe, all right, what happens is it comes out, or rather it goes in down there. That is the suction side of the water pump. It's located, let me start this again. Starts right there, okay? Then it goes at Y's. One side goes to our degas bottle, which is the coolant reservoir. Then the other side comes up. One side feeds the, I guess, returns the hot coolant from the turbocharger via that line right there. Then you also have the standpipe portion, or whatever you want to call it, that comes up here, is a breather for the degas. You also have this breather over here, just FYI, which this one's actually taller. So you have that, which isn't a big deal. Then you have the heater core return, and then the EGR. So a lot of people run that little hose, and then you're left with this just ginormous hose. Well, if you second gen swap it, it's pretty easy. Fleece sells a little kit, and you're able to plumb around that. No one that I was able to find makes a kit to fit the factory turbocharger with getting rid of this pipe, okay? But again, you can disregard this. This doesn't matter, okay? You don't need this, okay? You need this, you need this, and you need the degas. So I have concocted a little kit, so to speak, that is going to allow us to run it. Now, the other thing you got to keep in mind is you have your intake pipe that runs right here. You guys saw me remove that. That takes up a lot of room. So in order to make this kit work, a couple things are going to have to happen. Number one, this kit is relying on the fact that you may or may not have an EGR cooler. Number two, I think this kit's only going to work if you have a intake pipe, okay? Now, I love the factory ram air on these trucks. I like that the sensors are here and everything. So what I'm going to do is just make a little stainless pipe. It'll be a 90 and a straight, and a 90, maybe an extra pie cut and a straight, and essentially make a stainless intake pipe. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. No, plastic's a little better for heat. That's fine. I don't care. All right. That is not the name of the game. The name of the game is we want this thing to look clean. We're doing some powder coat stuff. We got some stuff from Whirly. So the name of this game to me really is make it look good. Not like truck show good, just decent, okay? So that's what we have over here. We also have a new turbo to test. Actually pretty excited about that. So we got to get this turbo out of here, which you guys can see why I wanted to wait till we got everything done. Cody's truck was the last truck I really promised anybody to work on, and quite frankly, I don't want to work on anybody's trucks for a little bit. So I got to get this done, and then we really got to get crack-a-lacking on the race truck. But my thought process was, you can't really go racing if you don't have a way to get there. So we're going to get this squared away. Yes, I know it kind of ran fine, but this unit needs some upgrades to make me feel better about it. if you've ever been on the West Coast, you'll understand what I mean. Like our first race is in Arizona. There's probably a good 2-hour stretch where there's really not much help. So I want to make sure this thing's reliable, so that way I'm not stuck on the side of the road, God forbid, with my family. So we're going to do the head studs again. We're not doing valve springs and push rods. Probably down the line we'll do a cylinder head, but that is not today. So we're going to just start kind of taking everything apart. My neck has been killing me for the past 2 weeks, so I'm not sure how far we're going to get in this video. All right. Fought it a little bit. It was kind of stuck to the turbo, but we got it out. Nothing broken. That's what I like. Now, I got to clean up my mess, but we will get this turbo out today. I just, yeah. But there she is. Exhaust manifold's out. And, nothing broke. It's a good day. Didn't even smash my hand one time. So I gotta kind of find homes for all this stuff, and then kind of do a quick cleanup job, and then we will begin our second part of this video, which is probably just getting the turbo out. Then we'll call this one good. So to get the turbo out from here, I do the coolant line on the block right there. I will unbolt the drain, leave it in. I will undo the electrical and the actuator and undo the downpipe, and it should come out through the top. I'm also going to go ahead and remove our riser pipe, this part right here, get that at least out of the way, and then I think we'll paint the side of the block while we're this far apart. I also got to work on getting the coolant tank out, which shouldn't be too bad. I know there's easier ways to do it, but just for the sake of my sanity and everything else, and not scratching the new one, I am going to pull the battery and battery tray out. So this is where we're currently at. Not looking too shabby. None of the exhaust ports look wet. So far, so good. Okay, so got the turbocharger out, and I actually kind of like doing the manifold and turbo together. And the reason why is you don't have to screw around with all the engine and all the engine crap, right? You can just slide the new turbo in. This J pipe, or I keep saying J pipe, this riser pipe will be out of the way, and we should be able to set it in pretty gentle, I hope. Get it lined up to the downpipe, get that clamp on. I wouldn't say super tight, but not super loose. And now we have pretty much everything stripped off of this on this side. I do have to pull the oil filter off to get to the riser pipe, which is fine because I wanted to change the oil and filter anyway. We've already almost put 5,000 miles on this thing, so I'm sure it's due for a change. Well, hopefully you guys got a decent angle, but we got our coolant bottle out. I just tweaked the AC line for those of you following along at home. Came out without removing the battery box. The battery does have to be out of the way though. I'll see if the powder coat will allow us to do the same thing. May or may not. And we got the standpipe, J-pipe, riser pipe out. And now you guys can kind of see what we're up against. So this is essentially the inlet to the coolant system, okay? So this is getting return suction pressure from the turbo, the degas bottle, the heater core, the top of the degas bottle for overflow, and the EGR. So obviously we can do away with this now. So we're going to come out of there with 10 AN to a distribution block. From the distribution block, we're going to get our degas bottle inlet or outlet, however you want to refer to it. We'll feed our turbo with 8 AN. You guys can see just how small that is. Very, very small. And then we'll feed our heater core with 10 AN. And then we will be done. So we'll have degas, we'll have inlet, degas, coolant, and then we will go to our heater core. And that will be another video, but you guys got to get the gist of it. And essentially, this isn't hate, so don't take it that way, but I just think it could be done so much cleaner with a riser pipe out of the way. And then, you know, you're not looking at all this crap. Plenty of room because the intercooler pipe sits up here. We got a lot of room underneath this battery tray, I think is where our distribution block will mount. And I think it'll just look way cleaner. You won't have that pipe in the way. We'll do everything out of AN, so it should last a lot longer. And like I said, maybe this will turn into a kit if you want it. I'm going to get all the measurements, figure out all of the incidentals, so to speak. And then, like I said, it's not going to be a cheap kit, I can tell you that. This vibrant stuff is very expensive. But in this video, we got this out here, intake. We got our stock intake manifold out. We got our upper radiator hose and thermostat out, which we're going to be replacing. This will go in our new manifold. We have our old turbo out. Give you guys a sneak peek of the new PDD 63 millimeter tow monster. I don't know if they actually have a name for it yet. We have our top of the valve cover off. We got our coolant bottle out, our grid heater wire, get that out of there. Grid heater to battery wire, get that out of there. And we have our J pipe out of there. So this video, like I said, mostly disassembly. So stay tuned for putting the fancy parts back on. But I wanted to get it to where we could paint this, like get it cleaned, paint it, and then we can start buttoning it back up. Hopefully you guys like this video. Give it a big thumbs up. Drop your comments down below. Again, guys, I promised you 650 horsepower tow truck. That's it. We're doing stock fuel right now. If that fuel system gives us a hard time, I'm thinking 30, no more than a 45% over, a 10 mil, maybe a 12. Just depends on a couple things. And that's it. 68 truck. We're not doing anything crazy. We're not gonna have just a bunch of craziness on this truck. I legitimately don't want it to turn into that. And then for those of you guys wondering on the Duramax, I've had these parts all summer. I've just had real life things come up. Some of it I'll be able to share in a little bit. I just want to get it all done, and then I guess maybe do a little victory lap. But super, super proud of my wife for killing it. And that is where I leave you. The other things we do have for this as well, we got some paint match stuff done. But I wanted to get all the under the hood work done before we started to tackle that job, just because I don't want to ruin it. So anyway, like this one, drop your comments down below, subscribe if you're not already, and as always, I'll catch y'all on the next one.